So today we're going to show you how to make dragon's breath chili. And this is a hot chili, but if you don't want it hot, just eliminate the hot ingredients. So we're going to start off today with about 7 cloves of garlic. Okay, so we're going to start off with 4 pounds of ground beef. We're going to cook that in a pan till it's nice and brown, and we're going to drain the grease off of it. We'll start off with 4 onions, 6 jalapenos, 3 green bell peppers, 3 stalks of celery, with 4 cans of dark kidney beans, drained and rinsed, 1 cup of mild salsa, 2 tablespoons of chili powder, 2 tablespoons. So we're going to do 2 tablespoons of paprika. We're going to do 1 tablespoon of cayenne pepper. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of seasoning salt, 1 teaspoon of garlic salt, 1 tablespoon of poultry seasoning, that's 1 tablespoon, 1 teaspoon of onion powder. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of cumin. We're going to do half a tablespoon of ground black pepper. We're going to use 3 bay leaves. Keep in mind that when you use dried bay leaves, they are crispy and hard. So if you put this in your chili and you leave it in there, you got to be careful because it still stays hard in there. And if you swallow this, you could choke on it. So the best thing to do is what I do is I put these in with my onions and my celery, my seasonings, and I just let them cook for a little bit, and then I remove them out of the chili. We're using 2 cups of ketchup. We're using 2 cans of crushed tomatoes, 28-ounce cans. 4 cans of fire roasted or stewed 14.5-ounce cans of diced tomatoes or stewed tomatoes. 2 cups of light brown sugar. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut up our onions. What I do is when I cut off like the root end, I go just a little bit more on what I'm cutting off, and I don't have to worry about leaving the root end on while I'm trimming it. You know, in culinary school, they teach you to leave the root end on, to peel a bag real carefully. You can do it any way you'd like, but when you're cutting 50 pounds of onions at a time and you need them like ASAP, this is how you do it. Okay, so what I do is I'll cut the onion in half. I'll make a little slice through the top of the onion, and then I'll pass the knife through the onion, and I'll make my diced. So there I have, a nice like medium diced onion. We're going to do that to all 4 of our onions. We're going to take our 3 peppers and we're going to dice those up. The way I clean them is I'll stand them up and I'll take a slice right down them like that, not getting onto where the seeds are. Try to work it around the outside. And then what I do is I take all of the little pieces that are left on there and I just kind of trim off the outsides because that's still pepper there too. You can use that and eat that. I also trim off the bottom part of the pepper. We're going to take and we're going to dice these up. The way I do it is I just kind of go through the pepper like that and I just make my dice. Very simple. You don't have to be perfect with it. This recipe is a 5-star recipe from a 5-star hotel, and we sold 50 gallons of this chili every single day. So here we have our ground beef. It's all browned. We're going to drain the grease off of it. And then we're going to add that to our chili. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use 1/3 of a cup of vegetable oil. Place that in the pan and turn our pan on high. Then we're going to take our peppers and our onions and we're going to add it to this oil. And we're going to saute these on high until the onions start to turn a little color and the peppers start to cook. So here we have our peppers and our onions. The onions are starting to get a little color on them. The peppers are starting to cook down real nice. Now we're going to add our garlic to this. So the way I break my garlic up and smash it is I'll just take a knife and just smack it, and then I can peel off the skins off the garlic. Then I'm going to cut off the end. It's got like a little root on there. You cut that off. Then we're going to take the garlic and we're just going to cut it up. What we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of salt. We're going to sprinkle that over the garlic. We're going to take our knife with the back of our finger, with the knife being tilted up a little, and our hand, our fingers on top of the knife. We're going to take the knife and we're just going to rock it. And that's how we're going to mash the garlic. The salt helps to mash the garlic. You don't have to use a lot. But as you can see, it mashes it up really nice. You can do some more, as fine as you want it. Get it to where it's just like a puree. Okay? We're going to add this garlic to our sauteed onions and our peppers. So now we're going to add our celery. I use the leaves. A lot of chefs say that they're bitter. I use them. All I do is chop off the ends of the celery that are dirty, wash the celery really good, and I use the leaves because it just gives the chili more body, and you really don't taste the bitterness once you sweat them and cook them in the oil and the seasonings. We're just going to slice these up. Just kind of pass through them a little bit if you want to, make them a little smaller. Totally up to you. We're going to add those to our peppers and our onions. So we are making a big batch of this chili, so you can either have or quarter the recipe to make smaller amounts. I'm using a 16-quart pot, stock pot. Here we have our onions, our celery, our garlic, and our peppers. We're going to add all those into our 16-quart stock pot. So here we have our veggies. Now we're going to add our ground beef. Next, we're going to add all of our spices. We're cooking this on high. We're going to start it out, get it cooking really good. Next, we're going to add all of our tomatoes. Our crushed. Our fire roasted and our diced or stewed tomatoes if you'd like. We're going to add 1 quart of water. We're going to add our ketchup.